Salut, salut, comment vas-tu? J'espère que tu vas bien. Ma chérie, pardonne-moi. Could you bring me the glasses, please? Merci. Bonjour, comment ça va? J'espère que tu vas bien. Merci beaucoup pour cela. Thank you so very much for being here this evening. I do want to apologize for my tardiness. I have a PDF that we're going to follow this evening, and it wouldn't upload because it was too large. But we're here now, and I didn't get a chance to really get my eye makeup together, so we're just going to stick some of these on so that it doesn't bring a focus to the eyes. Okay, everybody, again, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you so very much for your excitement in all of those things, and thank you so very much for asking about your community services and all of those things. So, um, I think I'm going to drop this down here, I believe, so that way I can sort of look at it a little bit better. Normally I need another monitor because with the monitor down here, it makes me want to look down here, but I need to be looking up here. So, anyways, Guided Butterfly, hello. D Flow, Impressive Magic, Miss L, Dr. Stephanie, Crystal Marquise, Nazare, the granddaughter, Renaissance Woman, ABC1232 T, all of you, hello, hello, hello. So I know that some of you are still having some issue with the community service. I do apologize. I don't know why that is and why that is such an issue. Um, I really have no. We're going to send a message to our server to see how we can rectify that. But I know that our shipping guy posted in this last video. If you're trying to get the community service, just make sure you email customer service at conjuresouth.com and we will send you an invoice for the community service. Let us know which one you want and we'll send you that invoice. I do apologize for that. Is this not working?
Yeah, I think it's on the computer.
Okay, but if they can hear me, I think that's all that matters. So, yes, can you all hear me well? Because I do know that the mic is on, but if it's not plugged in, I don't know. Let me double check. Someone here said, try clearing the cookies and all of those things. Y'all can hear me just fine? Okay, wonderful. Perfect. Great. Wonderful. Great. So, yes, as I was just saying, I do apologize for that. So if you are trying to get this month's community service, please make sure that you do so by, if you're having issues with the website, go to email us at customer service at conjuresouth.com. Let us know the community service you want. We will send you an invoice. The invoice must be remitted by this Sunday because the community services will be held this Sunday at 8 p.m. Okay, so I just want to make that point clear in all of those things. But I do apologize. I think a large part of that whole issue is because we upped our security on the security on our computer, on our system back in November or December. And since then, we've been having some of the issues. The glasses are giving Professor Queen of Hoodooology about to learn the people something tonight. And you are right. So for those that, what's the problem?
The mouse is very loud.
Oh my God, it is what it is. So for everybody, I want to point you to this community service. This is the April community service. This is our attraction community service. This service is our Venimois. This is our come to me. This is our summoning. This is a big service because this is one of those services I either will do annually or it may be years before I do it again. I was actually not prepared tonight to show you, but you're actually going to get some nice sized jars. and you're going to learn how to fix, they will be fixed, but fix them and conceal them in a way as we're making point, which means, and this is what I have not communicated, point is a spirit, it is a living spirit. So you are going to learn in the replayable class how to conjure and work with a living money spirit, how to work and conjure with a living money, a living summoning spirit or attraction spirit. And so that's what you're getting in a replayable class. And that is why I'm saying I think it may end up being an annual situation because it's going to take work. But you will learn how to anoint your ropes. Anoint your ropes. There's a particular pace that you make in order to do this. And so we're getting into all of those things. All right. We're getting into all of those things. So that is why I hold back. I do hold back. And the reason I hold back is because this is what I know for certain. If you know, you know. I don't care to put out everything all at once and give you all the things. If you trust me and you've been here and you've been fed, then you know you're about to get it. You know you're about to get it, which is why I'm so excited about having this video tonight, because here's the truth about it. People who have been writing on this page for years had a very different response watching Sinners than those that are very new to Hoodoo and all of those things. And so I love that. But anyways, that is that. And the only reason I brought this up so quickly is because people were mentioning it in the chat over there. All right, everybody. So tonight we are getting into Sinners. I have to tell you all, there's so much BS. There's some. I hope some of you trendy, performative entertainers are watching. Y'all are full of BS. The deepest unnatural form of BS. Because y'all are trying to make this thing so deep. Y'all are trying to make it all philosophical and the hoodoo of it all. And oh my goodness, it is. I was like, so I went into this thing thinking, oh, they about to hoodoo down. I thought they were going to hoodoo down. I thought they was going to hoodoo boots on the ground down. Okay. Okay. I thought that that's what I was walking into. I thought that I was literally I literally thought I was going in and it was just going to be full with this like Lovecraft country, demons here and there, left and right, and potions and magic or whatever else. And the way that people are going about it on social media, you would think it was the next Eve's Bayou. I mean, I was like, oh, this is not what I expected. This was not giving. It was not giving Hoodoo. Was the movie good for what it was? It was. But I will tell you, as the Hoodoo Queen, as the Hoodoo Queen, going into there expecting this Hoodoo downtown experience. No. But as I mentioned in my short and in my reel today, that, these spiritual entertainers and these spiritual performers are going to as I said, spin and trend. They're going to spin the narrative, amplify bits and pieces, and make it into hoodoo, just like they want to make the Bible into hoodoo, the same way they want to make crystals into hoodoo, the same way they want to make therapy as hoodoo, as the same way they want to make hoodoo a religion, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And I was like, okay, all right, I see what's happening here. And it's so funny because I've seen a couple, and I don't even watch all the reels. I don't watch all the shorts. I don't. I can't. I don't even care to. I don't follow these individuals. But when you look up sinners and people start coming up and talking about these things, I'm just like, my sweet, merciful ancestors. Please, please. So let us go ahead. Let us go ahead and get into this, all right? Southern Sirens and the Truth Sinners. Now, as you saw today, I showed you all this book today. And I showed you this book today because Sinners is literally this book. It is literally this book, and it is also Bad Medicine. Both of these books you can find at CONJURE and Amazon.com. But if you're coming to the Conjure Fete, they will be at the pop-up apothecary and shop. All right. But in 2021, I gave you all Southern Sirens. I gave you this. I gave you this. I gave you Sinners. I gave you Sinners. And so here we are. So tonight we are going to unpack Sinners. We're going to unpack Southern Sirens, and we're going to give in a variety of things, all right? People have watched videos about Chinese stores in the Delta because of that movie. I have been telling those Chinese were racist then, just like now. Stop believing the movies, people. Y'all listen. And that is something else too. This is something, and I'm going to say this as well. I want to make this part very clear. I am a fan of Ryan Coogler. I think that he's brilliant. I think his cinematography is amazing. I am not here to debunk the movie. I am here to give y'all truth, however. And so if that exploits the trend of it all, then so be it. All right? Then so be it. If it makes your favorite hoodoo spiritual entertainer and performer upset, I'm okay with that. I am so okay with that. Because you can't fight it. I mean, you can fight, but I mean, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You've lost. Okay? And that's just what it is. All right, so let us get into this because I don't want to keep everybody here a super long time, but I really want to get into this conversation. And depending on how quickly I can get through this, I may bring some people in and on. I haven't even had dinner tonight, everybody, because I also had to work on this PDF. So there's that. And I don't know that I'll do a part 2. I want to do a part 2, but I don't know that I will. So let us begin here. As I mentioned to you, Southern Sirens, and there may be plenty typos, you guys, because I literally made this within an hour and a half. African American Sirens and South of the South, Hoodoo Blues, and Southern Sounds. Why didn't Southern Sirens blow up in 2021? I'm going to tell you. Because tradition does not matter. And I've been telling y'all that. I've been telling you tradition doesn't matter. Tradition does matter, but in this modern day, tradition doesn't matter. Tradition has no space in a room of lies because it's going to look like the enemy. And I don't mind looking like the enemy or the villain in the face of truth. I don't mind that. So if truth is the enemy, if truth is the villain, I'm going to be on the side of the villain, period. Point blank, period. Why didn't this go anywhere? And I'm going to tell you now, it is for that reason. And even though you may think today, oh, well, now tradition is going to get it started. It's going to be trend. No, 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 no. What you're seeing is tradition is what's trending. Is what you're witnessing now. It's the, oh my goodness, it's the hoodoo. Even today, I saw this girl on Instagram. Let's talk about the vampires. Let's talk about the vampires in the Gulf Coast. Let's talk about the vampires in this space and that spaces. And I'm just like, here you go. Here you go. Y'all are doing it. And so understanding that even right now with sinners, tradition isn't magnified. People are going to begin to open the door to, ooh, what is hoodoo? Ooh, what is this? Ooh, what is that? And they're going to find the trend. They're going to find the tradition of it, not the tradition of it. Okay. So that's why it didn't blow up. And I'm going to go even further to why Southern Sirens did not blow up as it should have, because it wasn't your spiritual handbook, your magical handbook to inflate your ego. Nope. It wasn't your handbook to exploit you through your traumatic experience, through trauma bonding. Nope. Nor did it mislead you into the powerless methods known as spells. And this is spells that I'm talking about your entertainers and your performers are giving you guys, putting candles on top of jars and such, putting honey in jars and such. Okay. Because it wasn't a book to give you what you feel is power, it didn't blow up. But those that have been with me knew when I put out something, you needed to know it. Why? Because in 2025, there's a whole movie that comes out about it. Just like I showed you in 2018 with The Lady in the Yard. My whole magazine was The Lady in the Yard. But I'm going to go even farther than that here in a little bit. Southern Sirens is the first book of mine that you need if you are going to walk down the road of hoodoo, period. Because it provides culture, tradition, history, truth, and facts. And we know truth and facts sound like hate to those that hate truth and facts, of course, always. But more importantly, it is about the people. It's about the folk music. And you cannot know folk magic without the folk. Okay? So, and I know, and I'm going to tell you, the book is tiny. It is very tiny. It's a day read. It's an afternoon read even. But what you get here is so important. Now, this isn't even, and I think I told you when I did a live on it years in 2021, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Yes, Marcel, I do know this. So the siren being your tea, absolutely. Moving forward. So tonight I wanted to bring you along the ride of Southern Sirens, and we're going to just show you some of these important parts. And some of these important parts is going to give you the reason why when my followers watch Sinners, it doesn't hit the same. Chapter 1, know your magic. Know your music, know your mysteries, know your magic. This is not as it's not magnified as I thought it was going to be. So, anyways, so that being said, when we're talking about, I'm just going to open the book here since I know where I have everything is. The reason we bring this up from the get-go about know your music, know your mysteries, and know your magic is because I knew and this is why I tell people, it doesn't matter that you've been reading your books 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. I am the Hoodoo Queen. I was brought up in this at birth. My family is historically known. So when I put out little guides or whatever like this, it's going to be action packed, but it's also because I know the importance of what you need. You say you want this, I'm giving it to you. I told you that the music and the mysteries, the magic, it was always there. It was always there. This is nothing new. True to it, not new to it. Okay. So here, regardless of what you want to call us, African Americans, blacks, colored Americans, peoples of color, 50 shades of American, the truth of the majority is the majority of individuals that are African American or descendants of Africans or descendants of those from Africa come from West Africa. The majority, the large majority, okay? I then want to skip over to the next page, page 2, where we talk about drums, all right? I'll read this part. What we cannot do is pretend like those hymn notes didn't come before rock and rolls and blues. The Georgia Mass Choir, the rhythm of "Come on in my room, come on in my room, Jesus is my and listen, but that boom, da 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 dum, da 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 dum, da 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 dum. That is also, you better come on in my kitchen. All right, and so that is by Robert Johnson or Robert Johnson, depending on where you're from. It is that thing, understanding, and I'm gonna try to. This is what I have been even just communicating in the last video about why Jesus had a chokehold on Hoodoo. We were singing in the fields before you picked up your Bible. We had the banjo, we had and what people hear, and we'll get even more into the space of the drums, but understanding that they took the drums. So you thought, no, because we understood we could, whatever it was, we always had those rhythms, and we knew that whatever we had, we could use to make those rhythms to communicate. All right? So understand this. The first thing we must accept is the beat, the drums. The drums are really where we step into African religions. The drums, listen to me, what I say, the drums are the language to the divine. So when you're watching Sinners, and this vampire, I'm just for lack of words, says, I heard you call me. You called to me. I heard you. You see at the beginning of the movie, they talk about the griots. It's not griots, it's griot. The griots are the music holders, the storytellers, the encyclopedias to our mysteries, magic, and music, etc., so forth and so on. That they were able, and those are the ones, and see, the storytellers just got behind the guitar. The storytellers got behind the drums. And when you do that, you are now talking, this is the language to the divine. They mention it is the veil. It is the veil. I mentioned that in 2021. Okay? I mentioned that in 2021. I love you singing There's a Weakness of Building. Yes, oh, thank you. And so the thing is, when it comes to the drums, it's going to call. This is why I've been telling you, even in African religion, this is in African religion. This is why I keep telling you, and whether you want to believe it or not, I don't care, because truth and facts are facts. You cannot call Papa Legba into your space. Ilegba. I'm going to just speak to Vodou. I'm a Vodizan. Let me just speak to Vodou. You can't call the Loa into your space without the drums. And I am going to speak to Ifa. The Orisha ain't going to come down unless those drums are going. Point blank, period. Because the drums are the calling card. It is the language, okay? Bonsoir, Sophia. Bonsoir. Moving forward here. I then mentioned that the power of the drums, all right, that's the power of the drums. It is communication. I'm going to see if I can find this in the book here so that I don't have to. Anyways, I'll just read it here. That's the power of the drum. It is a communication. When we're looking at the music and how it ties together, you will see, as I've already mentioned, when we talk about the drums, it immediately sends signal to move your body in a particular way. Your body is the conduit to the spirit. So when you're looking at a Fete in Vodou or a Bembe in Ifa, there are particular rhythms that these drums are played. Strong, powering, nurturing. These drums are played in specific ways to literally call out to the gods and goddesses, gods and goddesses, gods and goddesses, deities, entities. It will call out to these things. Queen, I hear what you're saying, but how does that pertain to me and hoodoo? You know what? Let's just eliminate hoodoo. Because everything isn't hoodoo. All the customs are not hoodoo. All the traditions are not hoodoo. And every spiritual experience isn't hoodoo. Because when you are downtown in icons or in whatever space you are in or whatever, this club, that club, etc., and you begin to drink and you begin to put on a rhythm, and you black out and you can't remember the next day, baby, you have been possessed. It is a spiritual experience that you have. It is going to happen. If music is present, it's going to move you. This is why, even I mentioned this in the book, this is why at 9 years old, y'all wanted to go grab some Ginger Slim menthol lights and a 40 because you didn't understand why you were somebody's lover and secretary, working every day of the week. Okay? That was your job when no one else was there, helping you on your feet. 11 whole years. Got you flicking the cigarette and burning up things at 9 years old, because music has that kind of power on your spirit as well as others. Okay? And this is a very important thing that a lot of people don't understand. And I know that some people are here, and this is why Southern Sirens probably didn't do so great, because people don't want to know this part. People want to know, oh, where's the magic? Give me the magic. Give me the power. What can I do? What can I do? I want to do stuff. I want to do stuff. Listen, if you don't know who you are and whose you are, you're not who doing. Who are you is where it's at. Whose are you? No hoodoo insane. Oh, yes, baby. At 9 years old, I said, you know what? Hand me that Virginia Slim. Give me a 40. You know what? Mad Dog, if you will. Because music has that. Think about it. You can right now be driving down the road and you hear a sad song come on. And mind you, you done had a good day. Birds are chirping, dandelions, unicorns, leprechauns, the whole nine. and a song comes on that puts you in a particular mood. Now you out here want to talk about you need a therapy session because you've been traumatized. That's why they tell you be careful what you're listening to. I'm just saying. These are the facts, all right? These are, in fact, the facts. Understanding that our music provides that. Hold on. Well, I mentioned how your body is the vessel to the divine. So as the drums is communicating, Loa, are you there? Arisha, are you there? Entity, are you there? Deity, are you there? Yes, I am here. I'm available and I need to talk to you. I'm coming down. Boom. So now your body is the vessel, okay? And your body movement, and this is why we're doing the powwow at the FETE this year. This is why we're doing the powwow at the FETE. It's why we did the Orisha dance last year. It's why we had the voodoo dance with Mama Baza Renwa. You know, I've been giving you all this like 2018. Literally. I made a book in 2021 about it. But I've been feeding y'all the information about music and dance and how even music and dance can be the door to your spirituality. It may be, in fact, that thing that allows you to identify, oh my gosh, this indigenous space is, oh my goodness, this Yoruba space, oh, this Beninois space is, oh, it's that. It has always been that. It is the thing that we have always had. It is the thing that we have never let go. It is the thing that they could never take from us. And this is why in the movie he mentioned they forced their religion on us. But blues came with us. Blues came with us. Understanding that our music provides that. And dance gives us the history. See, dancing would tell you about things, how you move, chopping down things. It gives you the history. All right. The power of music. I know where this one is. I'm just gonna go straight to this part. And that's the power of music, the true gift of song. But when you begin to add alcohol, which are herbal spirits, and mix it into this whole environment, the whole environment shift. You get in the club and there's a possession. It's everywhere. Listen to the song and you will see it in the face of blues, jazz, the Delta blues, rock and roll, a variety of spaces. In the space of church, and a lot of times, you would even say, my God. But we understood that God we understood that God wasn't an individual, but it was a pronoun. I'm going to let you sit with that, let it marinate and deliberate on your life. But this is what I also want to talk about in regards to sinners. When they are talking about the music of it all, being the conduit, the medium, and they had that scene where it was rock and roll, rap, and it stretches through space and time. That thing is real. And you hear it even today. Sinners. Hoodoo in sinners. Now this thing right here, my baby. Listen here, listen to me. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. The way that these trendy, performative spiritualists and entertainers have tried to make sinners be this big hoodoo video, this big hoodoo movie, shame on you and your roots. Shame on you and your roots, because you's phony. You phony Braxton. It's who you are. It's who you are. Because the movie was not that deep. It really wasn't that deep. Entertaining, yes. That deep and all this. I literally. Okay? Yes, they're really trying to turn the whole movie into a textbook. And Hoodoo was just a sentence. Okay? Yes, Jules. I mean, honestly, get Southern Sirens and get Bad Medicine. Because this is literally sinners right here. Both of these spaces. So let us look into the hoodoo, the customs, traditions. I want to make this point clear. Hoodoo was mentioned. However, I have questions for you all. The first thing that I want to bring up is this point where she goes, I don't know why the roots aren't working for the baby, right? Um, she said, I don't know why they don't work for the baby. Okay. And over here on my little side note, why would you keep doing the hoodoo if it doesn't work? And the reason why is because you have an understanding that my roots work. They work for money, they work for love, but they may not work for healing and killing, life and death. When you understand what your supernatural abilities are versus your abilities in spell work, I'm not going to stop doing my spell work because I am not, first, I'm not going to stop making peanut butter sandwiches because I'm not a chef, because I'm not a Michelin star chef. Okay. People out here trying to make this woman a whole hoodoo priestess. You cannot be a priestess or a priest unless you are in a religion. She didn't call herself a hoodoo priestess. Why are you calling her a hoodoo priestess? I guess because it was supposed to be healing for the children and not a witch. I don't know, but it wasn't a celebration. It was just a movie. And so the thing about it is, you know what? I understand that my gifts and ability in spell work isn't this. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't have this gift. I don't know why I don't have this ability. But it's been working for you. It's been working for you. So I know I can protect. Because we don't know if she had a miscarriage. We don't know if the baby was stillborn. We don't know. We don't know if the baby got sick. But what we do know is the baby did not live. Exactly, Tarika, absolument. Enjoy the movie for what it is, you know? But y'all want to go in the movie theaters with head wraps and elekes and colliers and coletas and incense and waist beads and waist trainers and wasting my time. I mean, literally, y'all want to do all of that. Who are you performing for? You buying a ticket. People ain't paying you. People ain't going to the movies to see you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. The movie was a duration of a day. We don't know. We don't know, Nathan. We don't know nothing. Yes, indeed. Um, it was a lot going on in this movie. It truly was. So how do people watch bootleg movies nowadays? I think it's that Roku or something. I don't know. Like Black Panther, we were really in there with all things. Now everybody Wakanda forever and show me your Wakanda lip. Like what? Are you kidding me right now? Are we really doing this? The actress did misinform a few by categorizing as a priestess. But the trend was going to do that anyways. Exactly. Exactly. And even like Annie actually, like I said, mispronouncing griot and mentioned griots and griot. It's not, it's a griot. Those kind of things. So here's the thing about it. I want to ask my people questions. Is this hoodoo? Is this hoodoo? And the reason why I ask you, now I know the answer, but I want you to tell me. She poured out libations in 3 spots. Where do you find the number 3 significant? Do you find the number 3 significant in hoodoo? Or do you find it somewhere else? Tell me in the comments if you know. I just love some Michael B. Jordan. I have never really been a Michael B. Jordan fan. This movie, I actually gave him an opportunity, and I actually sort of liked what I saw in his abilities and his artistic expression, even, you know. But before this movie, I don't think I've ever really seen outside of Black Panther him in anything. You can tell by the way they talk, and we're pronounced Christianity, the Holy Trinity, not in hoodoo. But also, we do see the number 3 in those spaces. I'm trying to see if I had one of my books laying around. 4 is a hoodoo for 4 directions. Exactly, Wendy. Like the signs of the cross. Why did she do 3 and not 4? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. You do have that. But let me ask you this. Let me get to my other spaces. The fork in the road and ATRs. Exactly. I was about to ask you. In the crossroads in hoodoo versus traditional African religions. Because who's at the fork in the road? Who's at the 3-point spot in the road? I would agree. King Noru. Yes. So think about your crossroad classes. This is why this movie hits different. Issue 3 as well, etc. So you do have that. Now, I want y'all to put the pieces together. If she poured out 3 spaces for Eshu, are we doing hoodoo? Is Eshu a part of hoodoo? Ilegua, the twins, I think. So then we look into, she also used the terminology Ashe. She also spoke in Yoruba. Can somebody tell me where the hoodoo is? On the baby's grave, she had a wooden figure. See, the Ibaji is one of the twins in the Yoruban faith in Ifa. You will see it as 2 normally. But when there is a child, and see, these twins look over children. It's like the Marisa in Vodun. They look over children. So in fact, the wooden figure on the baby's grave, utilizing Ashe, pouring out 3 splashes of libations, these are customs of Ifa, not hoodoo. And these are customs within the religion. This is not magic. Hoodoo is magic. Okay? So there's that point. But then she did mention there's Haijun. So we do know that there's a space of, yes, I forgot the E in the spelling here. So so she does mention Haijun. She also mentions the Mojo bag. And they also did mention hoodoo. So understand that. But if you look at her character, that was a Yoruba woman. That was a Yoruba woman. And this is something that is important. And someone says nobody was doing that in Mississippi. Definitely. Actually, they more than likely were. Actually, a lot of people don't understand or know that Ifa was in America before everybody started going crazy. Vodun from Benin was in America. So the Orisha and the Loa were in the Americas before Haitians came over, before Islanders came over, before anybody from the Caribbean got here to America. They did not bring over the Orisha and the Loa. They were already here. When you look at your blood and you see that you are 98 something percent, 90 plus percent Yoruba, your people, the Yoruba people are already here. They didn't come from the islands to here. They came from Africa to here. The people here in Mobile the majority of the people here in Mobile are Yoruba from the Clotilda, but also, which is Ifa, but then you also have the way they got here is through Benin, which is Vodun. The Orisha and the Loa were already here. This is what at one time was New Orleans, Voodoo. Is where the Loa and their American presence were. Today, that's not even a thing any longer, unfortunately. It doesn't exist. By words of elders of New Orleans, native elders of New Orleans. Okay? So just understand that this was a Yoruba woman giving us Yoruban customs. All right? But she also knew magic. You knew hoodoo, but you can use a Bible. You knew Wanga, but you may use a Catholic saint to mask things. Okay? Her religion was Ifa. And also, so that you all may or may not know, but Michael B. Jordan, the B in his name is a Yoruba name that was given to him by his Babalawo, which he admitted in a recent interview. So for it to be Yoruba oriented and driven and presented, that makes sense. Jumping back to Southern Sirens, because again, we are talking about the music and all of those things. Here we have Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson is where, and this is what I love about, Sammy here in the movie, because he definitely gives you that Robert Johnson vibe with the guitar. And a lot of people are going to try to sort of stamp him as Robert Johnson, but he wasn't. He wasn't. In fact, he actually is more aligned with another Delta blues singer that's not Robert Johnson, but somebody that you do know. But Robert Johnson, is the one that everyone hears about meeting at the crossroads with the devil. I need y'all to understand this. The devil does not exist in hoodoo. It's not a Christian-based faith to any capacity. It is not a religion. You cannot have the devil in a system where Abrahamic beliefs do not exist, period. The devil is an Abrahamic situation. But we would say the devil knowing that we were talking about devilish spirits, okay? So, understanding that devilish spirits are in fact a thing that you're going to find. When you read Southern Sirens, you'll be able to unpack the importance of devilish spirits and tranquil spirits, which you can also find in Bad Medicine, which talks about in tranquil spirits the darker aspects of hoodoo. All right. Um, and I just can't go through the all the history here, but you can get that in Southern Sirens. Jumping here to Southern Sirens, and the sounds of it all, and getting into the Mojo bags. All right. So it's so funny. Again, I'm seeing people here. Um, I see people here so heavily. Again, taking that one Mojo scene. Oh, did you see the Mojo bag and Mojos? And this is what Mojos is and Mojo. All the things. It's just like, baby, it was one little part. Stop milking this Mojo's marrow. It's not that serious. Truly. So when we do see this in Southern Sirens, we do have an amazing couple here that sings about, as a couple, that sings about their mojo and not to touch the mojo. So we have, excusez-moi, pardon moi, je suis désolée, Coots Grant and Kids Wilson. All right. Now, these are your Alabama hoodoos. There's a couple of Bama hoodoos in here because, and I don't know that I mentioned it in this part. I know I mentioned it in another part, but y'all, listen, hoodoo and magic was vast. Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, this whole space. Yes, you do have it in New Orleans. I mean, in Louisiana, you do have it in Texas, even. But understand that a lot of people just want to put all the emphasis in Louisiana. And it's like, no, stop. And please understand that Louisiana was a part of Alabama before it was even Louisiana, including the French aspect of it. As a French descent, I know this. So they talk about the mojo, and you see the mojo around his neck here. Now, mojo bags, no, if you have done my classes before, you know the difference between the nation sacks, the mojos, the mojo as a charm, and the mojo as a spirit. This is why this next community service is this is why the next community service is such a game changer, because you all are going to go from creating jars. You're going to go from creating jars as moving altars, working altars, and those things to actually going from a mojo as a charm to a mojo as a spirit. Excuse me. And the jars are going to go from being a jar to a spirit. And you are going to, I don't think I did this here, so I'm actually doing something right now. That is going to be a big thing that a lot of people haven't done before, but y'all are going to learn. There you have it. So, in the description box, you are going to be able to get your community service. The community service is limited. I will quickly bring that up real quick. The April community service is limited. There are only a couple of spaces here. There is a replayable class where I'm teaching you how to work a living prosperity spirit and a living attraction spirit. A class I've never taught before, and a class I don't know that I will teach again until next year or even years down the line. Y'all know me, I don't mind waiting 5 years to do a community service. So I'm still processing and coming down from the Spirit Dog class. This is too much. I'm so sorry, CG. I'm so sorry. So there's that. So understand that the community service is available now. The link is over in the description box. I also will mention that the CONJURE FETE audit, people did not understand what I mean by audit. Audit means to observe. So observe, no tools or nothing, but you will get to see us. I'm not going to tell you, again, I'm still holding one big secret. I'm holding a big secret, a big old nasty secret. And I thought about tonight telling y'all about the CONJURE FETE and this secret, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. And those that are there, those that are auditing, those that are virtual, those that are in person, you will get to know. If you don't come, you may never ever get to see this again in your life. And for some of you, it will be a once in a lifetime interaction, I will say. All right. So there's that. So anyways, all those links are over in the description box. There are limited big bundles. So just keep that in mind. So getting back to this point, Mojo hands. So I told you guys in Southern Sirens about Mojo hands and how, in New Orleans, they are known for this, and beyond New Orleans, your spiritual entertainers, your spiritual exploiters, and your spiritual performers are giving you all these big buckets of money, Mojo hands, and love Mojo hands, and healing Mojo hands, and road opening Mojo hands, and dolls all in the open. This group done sit here and told you, keep your hands off my mojo, because you are not supposed to see anybody's mojo. You cannot touch nobody's mojo. And if you got a flea market of mojos sitting around, a buffet of mojos sitting around, you know there's no magic there. If there is zero magic. Well, that lady, I don't know who that lady was. It was like, your name Jessica, isn't it? Isn't it B? It's like, there's no magic there. Is it? And the thing about it is they don't even know that there's no magic there because they don't know. Hoodoo. They don't know. The culture. They don't know. But they're selling and exploiting and really staining it all. But if you understand here, when it comes to his mojo, it was not seen out in the open to this fighting scene. It was concealed. He had it concealed. He wasn't, oh, look at my mojo, look at my bag, look at my this, and look at my that. No, it was concealed. But also understand that concealing looks very interesting to us because we conceal the Loa behind saints. And you can even conceal hoodoo behind Christianity or behind the Bible. Not that it is a tool that can be used, but it does not make hoodoo. Okay, it does not make hoodoo. All right. So understand that was one of those big points of keeping your hands off my mojo, keeping it concealed, and those type of things. All right. The next point that I want to bring up when it comes to is it still available? I thought I missed it. No, everything is still available up until this point. Sunday, the audit for the CONJURE FETE will not be available, and the community service, the April community service, will be held this Sunday at 8 because Monday people are coming into town for the FETE. So next week I have to put everything into that. So Sunday is the last day. Coco Taylor, yes, indeed. So I tell you in Southern Sirens about Coco Taylor. And we talk about the beat. The beats live. The beat is a calling. It is an echo before there was even time. It is the rhythm. Existence started with the beat that has echoed throughout time. And I love again that scene. When you see this scene here in Sinners, I want y'all to focus that it was da 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 boom, 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 da 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. That downbeat, every time it hit, people begin to move because that is when the spirit enters the body. That's when the spirit enters. That's when it happens. That's when it's going on. That's when you're no longer in control. And you saw her transform in those downbeats and in those downbeats, and the room begins to shift. The room begins to shift on those downbeats. And that downbeat has stuck with us from West Africa into blues first, and then because we were singing on the porches and things before and I want you to understand this about the whole Bible. Understand when people say, well, no, my people knew the Bible in the 1800s, 1700s. The real people knew the Bible based off of what somebody told them. They could not read. Okay? The enslaved person that told them about the Bible was told by their oppressor. Just saying. It was never a part of you. It was always forced upon you. But getting back to our regular programming, the beats and the rhythms have lived throughout space and time. So you hear Coco Jones, and y'all can go look her up, Hoodoo, Voodoo Woman. It's literally Beyonce's. What is the song from Beyonce I have on here? Excuse me. How you doing, honey, baby? You know I don't ask for much. I think you better work it out. Think you better work it out. Work it out, okay? So work it out is literally Voodoo Woman. Beyonce came into this music space as a solo artist, and really shook up the place with that hula hoop of it all. Okay? She gave us that. You hear these same beats. Thriller is a voodoo beat. It is a voodoo rhythm. You hear it in the church, you hear it in rock, you hear it in all the spaces. As much as people don't want to admit it, but America is so black, it might as well be Africa. I said it, and I mean it. America is so African. It might as well be Africa because you see it in the food, you see it in the music. It is the thing that trends on the regular. Even now, country music, which has always been a part of our culture. And there's a whole, y'all got to follow me on my artist page, and I'll talk about more about that. But also understanding that being country and being Southern are two totally different things. Because there's Western, there's country, there's ranch, there's barn, there's farm, there's a variety of things. But being Southern is a culture in itself. And then there's subcultures in regards to being Southern, okay? It is beautiful seeing. I was surprised by the geishas. But the thing about it is, though, we've had interactions with Asians. But more importantly, and this is something that's really important for people to understand, Asian cultures is heavy here in the Delta, is heavy here in the Gulf Coast. And I'm not talking about here recently. Bayou Labatri here in Mobile is nothing but I think they're all Asian. Like 98% of the town is nothing. But I can't remember where they're from. But when you live in spaces that are port cities, it is a big mix. It's a huge mix. It's a large mix. And you just can't get away from it. You just can't. And so when you live in a black region and you are Asian, it's going to bleed into your house. It's going to bleed, and it's going to change the way some things and so forth and so on as well. Okay. The Omens. All right. There were omens out of the gate. A couple of things. The duality of spirits. I've always told y'all hot spirits, cold spirits, water and hot. I just finished giving you guys the Rara Nacion video about the cool water spirits. You have Atipon Legba, water. You then have um, oh geez Louise, Carminal, the dark side of him. You have um, you have Dambala Widow, Dambala Flamboyant. There's this duality that you see. You also see the twins again. You also see the buzzers. We know the buzzers are decay. We know the buzzers are the dead. I have another book called Roots and Roosters that brings up a variety of omens. Even within your doctrine of divination, and we began to unpack here. You will see omens of spirits of decay and gradual endings. It's in the book. It's in the book. You see the color red. The color red was the only color they could use on the sign. Now, let me ask you all in the comments, because if you all came to the Conjure FETE with Queen Mother in the first year, why were the mojos red? Why were the packets red? Why were the packets red? Bloodstained. Also, what Orisha or even Loa is associated with red? Ogu. Super. Et voilà. Ogu for the Orisha, Ogun for the Loa. And what color? So we know that color, the petal, regarding that. And what is the point of Ogu or the Ogun Nation? Protection. Exactly. Those are your warriors. So again, in my personal opinion, and I'm not saying this was it, but my personal opinion why red was so significant is on the sign. That is protection, that is blood. All right. Number one. I really think that that's what it was for me, as an opinion. I didn't, and again, because I know, because I'm seeing all the Yoruba correspondences, that that to me is like, okay, I see what you did there, kind of deal. Those are the warriors. They had to fight. All right. In the next space here, Southern Sirens, and this was a big one that I wanted to bring up to you guys. As I mentioned, a lot of people really were trying to make little Sammy about Robert Johnson. But in fact, where was Muddy Waters from? Where was Muddy Waters from? Is that Clarksdale, Mississippi? Or near Clarksdale, Mississippi? Yeah, it sure is. So they actually pulled elements from Muddy Waters, elements from Robert Johnson, and the list goes on, to be honest. But I wanted to bring this up because a lot of people are like, if you're not from the South and you're not hoodoo and you are a lie, you are a stank trash bag of a lie. Because of the Great Migration, Hoodoo traveled. Juju traveled. Grigri traveled. Obia traveled. The Orisha de Loa traveled. Okay? So you see this with Muddy Waters from Mississippi going to Chicago, and also Chicago. A lot of people don't know this, and I don't know I know this is fact, but I don't know the details, the nuances. But Chicago and the Haitian community, I can't remember the story. Papa Fonfon, my papa, who's Haitian, who's crossed over at this point, was telling us about this, and I can't quite remember it. Look it up. But the Haitians in Chicago specifically is huge. So you know Vodou is skipping all around Chicago. Haitian Vodou. Not even Vodou, but Vodou. But what I also want to tell you guys here is you have Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters actually was a part of Chest Records. All right. But also who was there? Oh, Coco Taylor, Howling Wolf. Yeah. See, you couldn't get away from those spirits. We're going to take them with us everywhere. So understand that migration and magic with our music, and through music, it happened. Muddy Waters took our culture in his music and put it in Chicago, and it went everywhere. It was blasted everywhere, okay? I think this may be my last slide. Yes, this is the last slide. So this is my last slide, and I actually wanted to if I do a part two, it'll be probably on this. But this is where the bad medicine comes in. I need to discuss, the haints. I talked to you about haints in bad medicine, about them being spirits. Haints are spirits, and she mentioned that, but vampires are something else. So you may even ask, so there's a couple of things about this scene. Number one, what have I told you as you recognize these individuals? These individuals were Irish, or the main one was Irish, correct? Do y'all recall him in the movie? And you'll see a part in the movie where he mentions, you're dealing with sorrow, something that I can't heal or I can't give you, right? What have I always told you about the Irish bloodline? What have I always told you about the Irish bloodline? They are good seers. They are the psychics. They are the dreamers. They know. So when I saw him go, I know that you're going through this or whatever, so forth and so on, I was like, that is such an Irish trait. Such an Irish trait. I also want to communicate about the Irish, and I've told you this in some past classes about tweens. How the dark fae, which in fact could very well be vampires. The dark fae would be, part of the dark fae could be vampires in the Irish tradition. They're called something else in the African tradition, which is where my next video will go. We'll be unpacking these things. But I don't know. Did anybody come to the CONJURE FETE last year? And we began to talk about demons, being an entities beyond the spirits. See, I've already been giving y'all the information before these movies come out, before the trends are trending. I've been telling y'all about these creatures. I told y'all that last year, last spring. Because there are spirits and then there's creatures. And they're real. The dark woman. Y'all think about what spirit did I tell y'all that would be in all black? You may find her in the rain. And this is one of the worst spirits, one of the worst, and I say spirits in the context of, or entities, excuse me. They're entities. One of the worst entities in all black you'll find in the rain, in the corner of a yard or in the corner of a graveyard. Fun fact. Do y'all not recall me mentioning this woman? Do you not recall this entity in the class? How this one entity is worse than any other. Très bien, CG. So I've been telling y'all about these creatures that are real. I remember at the age of 5 that sent me into the hospital through hyperventilation because I saw an actual demon. Not a shadow, but the creature. They're real. But also, I want you all to remember, and thank you so very much, Tanisha, I was about to get into that point. Creatures here in the Southeast are very much alive. I told y'all about the Lugaru or the Rugaru or the Rugalu. Here, there's a movie coming out about it. Talk to you about this woman. Here's the woman in the yard. I also told y'all about not answering calls when you don't know who they are. Because when you answer a voice that's not there, what do you do for that spirit? You allow them in. The dark fae needed to be invited in. So they're going to call to you. They're going to sing to you. They're going to trick you into thinking. And when you answer, you have invited them in. So everybody, these were my large takeaways. And I think I may do a part 2, but I know this up and coming week, it is all the CONJURE FETE, and even the week after that, there's a lot. Even the week after the CONJURE FETE, there's a lot. But when I talk to y'all about the Book of the Dead, it carries more than just the dead. That's why I gave you the introduction last year. We're elevating, and you need to have this. You must have this. So, as I've mentioned already, the movie itself, and so here's the thing about it. When you go watch your little other people talk about hoodoo and sinners, they're not going to give you this because they can't. They weren't brought up in it. They're not a part of it. They're appropriating more than likely. Just because it's kinfolk, don't make them kinfolk. But I've given y'all this. I've been giving it to you. This is why my people have a different outlook respect and experience when it comes to spiritual things. So the Conjure FETE virtual is live. It is not for replay. It's not for replay. If you're not there, you're gonna miss it. You all will be getting an email. The virtual people will get an email with the itinerary that has everything there. So you know what time, what dates, and all of the things. Okay. If you purchase the VIP ticket, we actually mailed out your tools and your supplies today. Do not open the boxes until we have our first class. I do want to remind everybody that the April community service is available at this very moment. There are limited services available now. You know, if you miss a service, you're going to hate it because it's going to shake up your world. It always does. I give you all things at the right times because I know things. I may not tell you things, but I know what's coming and I know what you need. Trust and believe me. You'll get the replayable class where I will be teaching you about how to work a living spirit from the jar through prosperity and attraction. You also get a Venema oil, but not your regular Venema oil. And you're going to learn why that is. Also, the audit class, the audit tickets for the Conjure FETE is available now. Please remember that you can break up these, you can purchase all this tonight or tomorrow, whenever, by Sunday, the last day for everything. The tickets to the Conjure FETE, the community service, it is all said and done on Sunday. You can break it up into 4 easy payments via PayPal. So you're able to participate in all of these things. Guaranteed. All right? Thank you also very much for listening. I do hope that you got something from this. I hope that you are able to walk away with more insight, that you may have known more than what you thought you knew. And if you go watch the movie, enjoy it for what it is. Don't end up getting distracted by it or getting, or like for me, like I said, was underwhelmed because I thought it was a big old hoodoo movie. Let these people talk about it out here in these streets. You know, I saw the symbolisms through the trailer, but I wasn't exactly sure. But I do want to have more conversations on the creatures. And that's why I gave you the creature demon class last spring. She's ahead of the times because she moves through space and time. But that's for a different discussion. You all have a wonderful, blessed evening. I look forward to seeing you all next week. The Conjure FETE is here. See you soon. Bonne nuit. Merci, Dr. Stephanie. Merci beaucoup. Please comment below. Once this uploads, comment in the video your takeaways from this and all of those things. I'm coming with the Roku. Yes, indeed. Airbnb. Peter's 220. I love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all have a great one. Share this channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. And I'm going to tell you this to everybody. Watch this video and then go watch a video from 10 years ago. The reason people stick it out here and once you're here, you stay with me is because it is consistent information. It is consistent education. It has never been fleeting. It's never changed. And it's never personal. It's never personal. It's not what I think it is, what it is. Okay? Y'all have a great one. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you. Merci et bonne soirée.